bought my own mic just in case. I was like, I don't know the situation.
Yeah. Hey, so my featured artist, y'all, this week, by way of Tomball from Brazil. No, wait, what is from Tomball by way of Brazil? Is that what I should say?
Oh, not sure. Here, I'll word it for you. I was born in Brazil, moved here about when I was 6, grew up in Round Rock, went to A&M, got the degree, and then found a job in Tomball. So,
Yeah, man. Thanks for being here, dude. I know you got some pretty big things going on over the next month or so, and then throughout 2025. And we wanted to kind of share your story.
absolutely.
Now, you mentioned that you grew up in. You said Round Rock.
Round Rock, yeah, it's just right outside of Austin.
I always get that one and Round Top confused.
Oh yeah, no, that's a little. I don't know. I think Round Rock's a cool kind of pocket. I think now it's blown up a little bit more, and it gets considered more as Austin than anything. But growing up there it wasn't as big at the time. So
So you grew up in Austin and went to College Station.
yeah,
Yeah.
no horns for me. Horns down. Yeah.
I
And
love that.
honestly, that was more so. That decision was made because of the band, right? I've been playing since since I was 15 years old, so in high school already doing that. Him right there, actually, he's been alongside the whole way. So when we were going to college, it was like, where can we all get in, and not have to do the dorm thing, because I know universities are all about that. Some places rather than another. But Blinn, right? Blinn was down there, and we could all go to junior college, kind of have fun, keep playing music. So me, drummer, bass player, all moved down there, and I did that. And then of course, the ultimate goal after that was kind of getting into A&M. If you're surrounded by it, you end up wanting to be in it too. So did that, got the Aggie Gold, and graduated, and yeah, that was amazing.
Man, that's awesome. There's so many great Texas musicians that come out of A&M. I mean, the list is so long. I mean,
very long. Yeah,
there's so many of them. Krager, Rich O'Toole. I mean, there's just.
It goes on and on. And I think that's more of a location thing, right? Like, if you are in College Station, it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours to Dallas.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half, 2 hours to Houston. It's 2 hours to Austin. So it's like that focal point where for these guys that are kind of having to jump from city to city week after week, it's like the perfect spot to be in, versus being in Houston. If I got to do a Dallas show, now you're looking at a 4 or 5 hour drive.
Right.
So I think that's a big thing with it. And then also just the community there to kind of support it, right? They like the, kind of bred in A&M and going that whole route. And Chili Fest supports that a lot.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's definitely the right spot to be, in the scene.
When did you go to A&M?
So I went first to Blinn. That would have been between 2018 and probably 2021, if I have it right. And then I think from 2021 to about 2023, I did about 2.5 years there.
Keller Cox?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not personally, but I know of him.
That's crazy. Do you know of him because he was the yell leader?
Yeah, because he was the yell leader.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I knew him. I met him because he's a country singer now. But when he came in here, he's like, "No, dude, I'm the former yell leader."
Yeah.
And I didn't realize what a big deal that was.
Huge deal around those parts.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. There's so much talent coming from that area, and like you said, it's kind of a mecca for live music. It's like it's a college town, man. So it's great to kind of cut your teeth down there.
Yeah.
You definitely learn some stuff playing in College Station.
Yeah.
Sucks that all Harry's is gone now.
Yeah, and the sad part for me on that is I never got to play it. So
no kidding.
I'm gonna have to live with that one. The timing of everything, it just is what it is. But yeah, that's gonna be one that everybody kind of hates losing. But also, I'm excited to see who's the next one to do it. Right. Like, you got kind of Shiner Park down there, in a good spot, and everything kind of set up to kind of fill those shoes. But
yeah, there's definitely. I mean, haven't they closed though before and then reopened again? Hasn't that been a thing before, or they closed for when school was out, during the summer they weren't open or something?
Well, don't quote me on this, but want to say that at some point, rather it was a storm or a fire or what happened, they had some kind of incident where
Okay.
they were down for a
I
bit.
just remember they were down, and then they came back, and now that's like, well, they're closing forever, and everybody talks about it, and it's like, I mean, I don't run the numbers at that bar, but it's
Right.
like, man, it seems like it's a beloved place, and they pack
Yeah.
it out, and there's so much great talent that's come through there, Parker and Co. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like, man,
I remember seeing Parker there. He wasn't as big as what he's become yet. It was like, went to a show over there. You could still get in the room, be there. Everything's kind of good. And then seriously, like a month went by, and I went to go see him there again, and it was like just
mayhem.
chaos.
Yeah.
You were toe to toe. I mean, so yeah, I almost feel like that place can kind of show you where you're at.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, totally, man. I love that. Oh, that's very cool. Again, if you're just getting here, Lucas SOUSA is my featured artist this week, man. It's awesome to have you here. I know you got a big show coming up that you're pretty excited about. You being on the north side of Houston, the Big Barn's kind of one of the biggest spots to play, man.
Yeah.
So that's coming up, what, next weekend?
Next Friday we'll be there doing an acoustic show there to kind of, our first time around there. I did play there a little while back with my buddy Cole Stevens and did, a full band show there. So probably, end up back around too with a full band, but excited. It's a cool room to be in, right? Because it's very much more sit down, people actually, listening.
Yeah, it is a listening
You're not
room.
there to party, right?
Yeah.
Although you
can definitely have a good
last time
time
I was
there.
there, I was partying.
Yeah.
But it's very intimate, and so as a songwriter, it's a good room to be in.
Yeah, it's super cool to just experience music there. If you've never been to the Big Barn, man, it's like this old tobacco barn, I think, that they got. It's like 200 years old. They moved it here, and just the inside of it, man, it sounds fantastic. And then just like the vibe there, it's just so cool. It seems like a place that you should be seeing live music and country music specifically, and they got great food. And it's a good time, man. So that's cool. The Big Barn, I think that's the 14th, right?
That's gonna be next Friday, so whatever day that is, I got my days all twisted up.
That's good. We'll leave it at that next Friday.
Next Friday.
So you also there's some new music on the horizon. So when I was listening to you on the way into work today to kind of refamiliarize myself with your music, it looks like it's been a couple years since you actually released something.
Right. Yeah.
So where are we at? This is the year that you're going to put some stuff out, huh?
So I released those last songs, and that's a lot of just a few years of life putting it down on paper and releasing it, and it really changed things for me. Right. The whole standard changed. Right. I did the recording and rewriting those songs and going through that whole process, which like people don't give that enough credit. It's a very long, drawn out. You have to be focused, right, dialed in. But also, right, when you release those songs and you end up happy with them, which I really love the songs I put out. I feel like we did what I wanted to do with just being a little bit different, right? Because I didn't want to go into it with the mentality of let's write a country album, right? I love country music, and that's my goal. But I also don't want to, kind of be narrow-minded when it comes to putting those together. I just wanted to let it be music and come out the way it does. And whatever kind of comes out of that, rather you consider it country or not, which it seems to be a big dilemma in the scene currently.
Yeah.
Regardless of what that is, the goal was just to make songs that I felt good about, but also to kind of find a unique sound of that. And so I felt like, we did exactly that. I felt like we really achieved our goals, but it also kind of, changed the standard for me, right? And in the past, it was almost like a little bit easier to just kind of write a song because my expectations weren't as high, right? And now kind of following up from that last release, it's like it's my writing process has become so much harder because I'm so much harder on myself, if that makes sense. I'm not that I'm trying to recreate that album, but I want to feel just as good about it. And so there's no point in trying to release a bunch of songs back to back and getting them out quick, and which great if we can do that, great. But at the end of the day, it's more so putting together something I'm really proud of. And so I've finally gotten to where I feel like I've lived enough life again. Getting married in the last just year. Actually, today's my anniversary. So
happy anniversary.
Yeah. So getting married within the last year and buying a house and starting a job, like a lot of life there, right? And so that now it's kind of we're back up to that. Let's put it down on paper. So that's where we're at in the process. We've started kind of taking the ideas that I've rather that is just a one-line thing, just from let's being at work and just thinking about it and just saying, hey, this would be a cool thing to write about. Taking all those ideas and now putting them together and getting ready to put them on paper.
What, Lucas? What made you want to start your journey in country music? When was the first time that you sang or played guitar or felt inspired to go further than just listening?
Yeah. So for me, since I was a kid, right, like real young, we're talking 2-3 years old, just having an acoustic guitar that your dad had around the house or whatnot. I knew that for sure I wanted to play guitar. I was like, I want to learn how to play that thing. I took some lessons when I was a kid, probably in middle school or whatnot. Didn't go too well. Years later, just kind of picked up the guitar and was like, I'm going to learn. I'm going to sit here and play this G all day, and got kind of carried away with all that on my own. Not to really perform, but just because I wanted to, just like playing it.
Right.
So that kind of leads us into high school, me being kind of 15 years old, and I just kind of learned how to play guitar. I had a really good family friend that lived near us, and she would do these South by Southwest events, and it was a memorial for Freddie Powers. If you've ever heard of them, wrote songs for Merle Haggard and all those all the greats. But as soon as I learned, she was like, "We got to get you playing on one of these shows," and I'm like, "I've been playing guitar for 6 months. I ain't ready to go play no matter what room it is. Right. I ain't ready for that." And so to kind of keep myself away from playing that day, I was like, but a year from now, on the next one, I promise you I'll play. Well, a year came by and she held me to it. So, I would go there, kind of play a few songs, just kind of it's like 4 songs I've learned that year, nothing. Barely know anything other than like a G minor, the kind of basic stuff. And so I did that acoustic, and then from there, it kind of take a step back. So like I said, my bass player here in the room with us, we went to middle school together, right? And he was at the time playing his, bass and guitar and all that. And I had another friend that was playing bass and, guitar and all that. And just, a kid that I randomly knew that was on the drum line. And it was all of a sudden like, hey, let's learn a few songs and play them.
Now we got a band.
And yeah, now we got a band. So we did that and got ready for that following year, same event with Freddie Powers, and ended up playing that show. And I remember getting off, and they were like, okay, well, when we're going to play next? I said, well, I guess a year from now. The next one. Well, that good friend of ours, she kind of took it upon herself. So let's get these kids playing. And so, 15 years old, since then, we just found a place to play and never stopped then. So to kind of answer your question, more or less kind of an accident, right? I wasn't exactly looking to have to play in front of people to get kind of anything out of it. I just wanted to play music, and these opportunities came, and it's like the more I try to run from it, the more it chased me. And so, as long as it keeps doing that, that's where we're at. So
that's awesome, man. Lucas SOUSA is my featured artist this week. Lucas SOUSA sounds like Texas, dude. So we've been talking for like 15 minutes. Why don't you play a song, if you will? And before you play it, is this something that's already out and available for people to go get, or is this some of the new stuff that we're looking towards?
Absolutely. No, I'll play y'all something that's out already. I would say this has kind of been, one of those songs that's kind of done the best for us overall. I wrote this when I was a senior in college, and, of course, when I was in high school, had that kind of relationship. And then now being, I was a senior in high school, now I'm a senior in college, and, being in the relationship I was in then, which is, I ended up marrying that girl, but, she was a little bit older than me, kind of, getting ready to take a job or whatnot, and kind of finding myself in the same predicament I was in my senior year of high school, and kind of what happened at that point. And so this song kind of came, from a vulnerable spot of just, being afraid of kind of seeing the same thing happen again, which thank God it didn't. But yeah, that's kind of how this song came about. It was like one of the last songs we wrote on the album, and yeah, I just liked it, so I'll play it for you. It's called With My Luck. Been a long time going on a losing streak, betting on some girls too good for me. The odds are in your slim enough. I'm keeping you around here for long, 'cause the stakes are high and I'ma fall apart. But I'm all in on a queen of hearts, with my fingers crossed, knocking on some wood a little harder than I should. 'Cause with my luck, you probably run off to Dallas, far enough away where I can't find you. Probably changing numbers so I can't call. Now don't worry about me at all. With my luck, you fall into someone new, and there won't be a damn thing I can do but be right back in Austin playing the dead man's hand. Probably with some girl that I can't stand. 'Cause that's just how it ends. With my love, yeah, with my love. Yeah, I can toss salt over my left shoulder, or even pick me some four-leaf clovers, drop a couple pennies in a wishing well. But darling, I can tell that with my luck, you probably run off to Dallas, so far enough away where I can't find you. Probably changing numbers so I can't call. Now don't worry about me at all. With my luck, you fall into someone new, and there won't be a damn thing I can do but be right back in Austin playing the dead man's hand. Probably with some girl that I can't stand. 'Cause that's just how it ends. With my love, yeah, with my love. 'Cause I've tried everything, but I still can't shake it off. But even if you stayed, I know one day that with my luck, you probably run off to Dallas, so far enough away where I can't find you. Probably changing numbers so I can't call. Now don't worry about me at all. With my luck, you fall into someone new, and there won't be a damn thing I can do but be right back in Austin playing the dead man's hand. Probably with some girl that I can't stand. 'Cause that's just how it ends. With my luck, yeah, with my love.
Lucas Sousa, Sounds Like Texas. That is With My Luck. Aces and Eights was that album, huh?
Yeah, it was The Dead Man's Hand.
The Dead Man's Hand.
Yeah.
I like it. Super exciting, man. And again, I just want to say thanks for coming by and playing and kind of telling us a little bit of your story. I like to ask everybody this question, but what does it mean to you to be an artist from even though you're by way of Brazil, from Texas, representing Texas culture, Texas country music. What does it mean to you?
I mean, it really means everything, right? I feel like, especially in the Texas scene, being where it's at, and kind of I'll call it standards of Texas country, right? And what you have out of it is just basically, having the original songs and doing it kind of yourself, independent, taking the horse by the reins and riding it. So, the biggest thing it kind of means to me is just to, have that approach to it, right? I don't want to say not taking the easy way out, but kind of having to really dig into yourself more than anything, and taking the days kind of the natural way, right? You might not be as prepared as somebody else for that next gig or whatnot, but you're jumping right in and you're figuring it out. And I think that's what a lot of guys are doing right now, right? They're not waiting for this opportunity for a label to like your song or whatnot. It's just, let's take it day by day. Let's jump right in and let's keep doing it. Let's make it about the music. Let's make it fun. Because that's the biggest thing, right? It's the moment you start kind of getting lost of, why you started, which is the music and chasing that feeling. Then, for me, at least in my opinion, then you're not really doing much, right? Versus maybe, being in the right position, but your heart not being in it. So that's, for me, if I can kind of put it all on an umbrella, is just having your heart in it and letting people hear it.
Yeah, don't get lost in the songs, man. Don't do it for the dollar, bro.
Don't do it for the dollar. If you wanted that, go work a full-time
job. At the end of the day, like you were talking about earlier, you want to be proud, just as proud of this project as you were the last one. And
Absolutely.
I think, for some, not everybody, but for some, when you reach a certain level of sauce, it's easier to get lost, right?
It is.
And then you start sounding like everybody else.
Yeah, and that's, when we
dressing like everybody, looking like everybody,
Yeah, and we see that time and time again, time and time again. This industry has a way of getting people to sometimes want to chase a sound that's already worked, right? And I think the Texas country, for what it is, it's been all about just these unique, independent, maybe it's not your typical country of what you were expecting, but it's just organic. It's just doing it the way you want it, right? So that's
for me, it's there's so much of it now too in the scene, like music that isn't country, but it's played to a country audience.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, doesn't even really have to, like you were saying too, like, I'm just going to make music. I'm a country boy. If it comes out country, cool. If it comes out however, that's how it's coming out.
Yeah.
So I love that, man.
Well.
That's cool. I'm going to ask you a little bit about your Brazilian roots. It's not that often that I have a Brazilian
Absolutely.
who is a rising country star in the room. Do you speak Portuguese?
I do speak Portuguese, yeah.
Could you say something in Portuguese?
Yeah, give me something.
I have no idea.
Meu nome é Lucas e eu tô aqui para você escutar minhas músicas country. Eu sou influenciado por música do Brasil um pouco, mas se tiver alguém lá do Brasil, sabe que se eu pudesse colocar uma sanfona, eu colocava.
Dude, I feel like I'm at like a UFC press conference right now.
If you're listening out there, then that's actually hilarious. That's great.
That's awesome, man. So speaking of UFC, do you know any like jiu-jitsu? Do you?
No. Not any kind.
Just that old school Texas arm wrestling.
Yeah, just old school. I mean, I'll say this. Back when I was a little bit dumber, that's probably get the best of you, and of course I start acting like I might know something, but. Nothing formal training. Just maybe that runs in our blood as well.
I think so. Maybe a little bit. Brazilians are definitely tough people, man. They got that warrior spirit and mentality.
Definitely great culture.
Is there? Do you ever do like the Brazilian barbecue?
Oh,
because if so, I'm inviting myself.
Oh, so I think you're referring to picanha, right? Which is it's a top sirloin, and it's like the go-to when you go to a Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah.
So I worked at a Brazilian steakhouse during College Station. That was all great. But yeah, those pecans, man, they're different. And the biggest thing is, right, if you're from Texas, honestly, just the U.S., what are you taught when you're cutting your steak? It's against the grain,
Yeah.
right? You should be able to see kind of those cherry combs in there. A little bit different, and when it comes to Brazilian style, they cut with the grain, and that's the world of a difference. It really is. It is the world of a difference. It tastes entirely different just because of that. And it would be frowned upon if you said it, to anywhere else. But I'm telling you, that is what makes it that good.
Man, I'm excited. I'm getting hungry now too. Lucas SOUSA sounds like Texas, man. I want to say thanks for coming. You are playing again the Big Barn at Do next Saturday, which I believe is the 14th or something like that. It's one of the 10th days.
Right, and then Thursday we're with Ronnie Atkins kicking off my first tour.
So you're going on the road with him?
No. So we got the opportunity for Thursday in Cedar Park, so close to home for me. We're gonna get to open for him, which is great. That's one of those guys I've been listening to my entire life.
Take a back road, dude.
Oh yeah,
I also saw you're opening up for Stoney LaRue.
I just did, yeah.
Oh, that happened.
Yeah.
How cool was that?
So cool, man. I'm a huge Stoney LaRue fan. Again, one of those guys that I grew up listening to. I've played, Feet Don't Touch the Ground as a cover a million times. My wife also really, really loves Stoney LaRue. That was one of those moments that I was like, man, I hope I get to do that one day. And so when I get the call, from Cash, I was like, well, that's awesome.
That's a yes. That's an instant yes.
That's a really cool one. So yeah, no, that was a great night. Mo's place was awesome. If you haven't been there, definitely go there. And I walked in there and Mo, the owner, I heard a lot about him, but never met the guy. But I walk in there, and the first thing happens to me is I see this guy, which I didn't know was Mo at the time, and he just opens his arms and goes, "Welcome home." And that's all that needs to be said about Mo.
I would like you to play one more song.
Sure. So I'm gonna play my personal favorite on the album.
Okay.
It seems to not be the favorite, but I just don't know how it's not. So when we were riding it, we were on the way up to Tyler, Texas, to Rosewood Studios down there.
Yep.
And we were just cutting the acoustic demos to take up to Nashville the next week, and do the whole cut in there. And I think me and the boss lady, I don't know, had a little bit of an argument the night before or something, and so I was riding up there, and I actually wrote the song without a guitar at all, just put it down on the iPhone notes, and then I get to the studio, and my producer Philip Mosley was like, man, I think I just wrote a song I really like on the way up here. And of course at this point, we had flipped through, I think I wrote about 70 songs during that time. We were flipping through about 30 of them, trying to pick out about 6 of them. And I didn't even want to show him. I just kind of was there waiting for the other guys to show up, and just kind of playing with it. And he goes, show me the rest of that. And I show him just a little bit. He's like, no, we need to cut that. So we cut it the very next week. Quickest. So the funny thing is, the very first song I wrote for the album got cut. It was one of the ones picked, and then the very last song. So it was finished the bottom. So.
And so this came to you rather quickly. You said on a drive to the studio?
Yeah, a little 2-hour drive. And, songs come in all different ways, right? Sometimes you have songs that take a lifetime. I have a, song that I wrote for a good friend of mine that passed away when I was in high school. I, wrote it as a gift to his mom, not planning to release it. Later on she ended up saying record it, and producer said record it, and so we recorded it. But, I tried to sit down and write that song so many times. It took me 4 years, every year that would be the anniversary of him passing away, I would sit down and try to write it, and I could never find the right words. And then one day, it all clicked. And it's probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written. I think it's just because it's real personal, and very just true, right? So there's those songs, but then there's songs that you're not even trying to write them. You just kind of have this thought, and it's that's a cool thought.
Yeah.
And then they write themselves. You don't have to really think about it, which I won't say that we don't have to kind of go back and, do what we got to do to make it all fit and right, because you're crazy to think that people just are out here, writing these songs on the first take and it just all happens. It's not like that. It's a process. But yeah, if I had to say a song that kind of wrote itself, it came natural. Which thank God. I was tired of. I went through probably 30 non-naturals to get one that just helped me out a little bit. It's my favorite. It's my favorite on the album.
What's it called?
It's called "Come Back, Baby." Which even the title itself, we were like, oh, I don't know about releasing that, but it all just it felt right to me. Which again, that's what I was going for. I'll play for you. Baby, I just don't know if we can keep this up. You play hard to get and I act so damn tough. Baby, I just don't get it. This ain't what it used to be. Why is it so damn hard to love you? It used to be easy. Yeah, it used to be easy. Ain't it crazy how we both been here before? Say you're leaving, but you never make it out the door. You can hate me if I can make you sound crazy. What's the point if you're my comeback baby? My comeback baby. Maybe it's my fault. Yeah, maybe I'm to blame. Sometimes I hold you close, sometimes I push you away. Yeah, but ain't it crazy how we both been here before? Say you're leaving, but you never make it out the door. You can hate me if I can make you sound crazy. What's the point if you're my comeback baby? My comeback baby. My comeback baby. You can save your tears, I'll just swallow my pride. Put it all on me and we can make this right. We can make this right. But ain't it crazy how we both been here before? You say you're leaving, but you never make it out the door. You can hate me if I can make you sound crazy. What's the point if you're my comeback baby? You're my comeback baby. Oh, won't you come back, baby?
Dude, I dig that one. Lucas Sousa, Sounds Like Texas, Comeback Baby. Man, I'm not a musician, okay? I played tuba for like a couple of weeks when I was in like 6th grade or something, but when you hit that note and is that vibrato where it like shakes a little bit?
Rattles. That's a little bit of just me getting over the flu. but yeah.
I thought it sounded great, dude.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
On the album, it kind of ended up that way too. Because you know what I've realized? I don't know why this is the case for me, but like every crucial moment I end up being sick right before. So
Mm.
like we're about to go cut vocals for the album, I get sick. So and then it's like, you know, that's the day that it has to get done. It's the day it's gonna have to get done. So it's like, all right, then just that's gonna be what's on there. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, sometimes you get really cool sounds out of it.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I love my voice on the radio in the morning when I wake up.
A
Like
little bit
for like the
deeper.
first hour, it's like way deeper. You know, I sound
Mhm.
like Howard Stern or something. And yeah, man. So I get that. And I think too when you're like have congestion going on, you sound a little bit cooler. You know?
Yeah, it's like Randy, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
Randy Rogers just walked in the room.
Yeah. Very cool, man. Again, dude, I just want to say thanks for coming down
Yeah,
and
thanks
making
for
the
having
time
me.
today. Very cool to be able to introduce you to the Sounds Like Texas audience, man. You're a local guy. Again, Lucas is from Tomball. He's got a big show coming up in the Woodlands at the Big Barn. And then what was the other one that you're doing? Rodney
Yeah, it'll
Atkins,
be
bro.
Rodney Atkins at the Shoot in Cedar Park on this upcoming, or that's next Thursday, not upcoming. And then the very next day, that Friday, we'll be at the Woodlands, Do-si-do.
You do kind of sound like Randy right now when
Yeah,
you're
right.
talking. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll need your hat, and I got the whole.
Yeah.